Welcome to our first 2018-19 Learning Update for Parents and Pupils at Beaconsfield High School.
I'm Rob Kitley, I'm the Head of Science Faculty and also Associate Assistant Head for Learning.
I'm Tina Hill, I'm the Deputy Head with a focus on learning and teaching. We are together today to update you on some strands of our whole school approach to remarkable learning so that you as parents can help support your child to make the best progress that they can with their learning.
In 2017-18 we introduced the Getting Life Ready or GLR agenda, which was designed to explicitly focus on the key skills that all pupils will need for their adult life once they've left the school. Both staff and students have become very familiar with these core concepts, and we take the time to incorporate them into our learning and praise pupils when they embrace these skills.
One of our GLR strands is reflection. We are keen to build on this strand, and we believe that a few small changes to our day-to-day working can make meaningful gains in this element of Getting Life Ready, which will have impact on all of their subjects.
One of our foci for the 2018-19 year is to raise pupils' and parents' awareness of metacognition and how we learn. And part of this will to tweak our home learning approach.
Metacognition is an awareness of your own thought process and how you learn. We want all pupils to understand that their brains are like a muscle, in the sense that it can be trained to improve different cognitive functions like memory or math skills. Like building our other muscles, it requires training and commitment, and therefore learning should feel challenging, and retaining that learning needs continued effort.
The process of learning will be different from person to person, as we are all unique, but there are approaches to how we work that can benefit us all when we're trying to commit things to memory. The vast majority of assessment in the UK education system, rightly or wrongly, is at the end of the course of study, and it requires a significant amount of information to be retained in the pupil's mind. Committing information to memory, whichever technique best suits you, requires an element of consolidation, revisiting and reflection.
When information is new or unfamiliar, it is often most effective when the learning consolidation occurs very soon after the initial input of new information. Consolidation is the stage where learning is reinforced and memorised, and as Mr Kitley just said, it is needed for success within examinations. Consolidation is usually best when the focus on the same subject is done in a different way. Consolidation is also best done at regular intervals and not with a mammoth revision session the night before an exam.
We want pupils to understand how our brains learn and take this awareness to improve and refine the efficiency of their class and home learning, as well as their revision.
Pupils at Beaconsfield High School are usually exceptionally motivated, keen to succeed and have a strong desire to learn. We're really lucky. There are many different approaches to learning, and there is not a one-size-fits-all approach that will work for everyone. However, there are definitely techniques and ideas which should benefit all pupils, and we are keen to foster these through changes to our home learning policy.
In line with this, we have introduced a new expectation for all students. Regardless of their age or the subjects that they study, they should spend a minimum of 5 minutes per subject per night reflecting on what they have done in that lesson that day, consolidating their learning and taking the next step in securing that information to their long-term memory. Gone are the days where people should come or could come home and say, I haven't got any homework tonight, as every pupil should have a minimum of 25 minutes of consolidation after every school day.
The consolidation they can do will come in a variety of forms, and we will be sharing many ideas with you in this presentation and throughout the year for how you can do home learning, consolidation and reflection in the most effective way possible.
Well, the slide up here shows some of those ideas, and I'm going to talk through a few of them for you to give you and your child an opportunity to think about some alternatives to home learning. So tweet it, that's acting on or thinking harder approach and introducing some challenge where students have to condense what they covered in a whole lesson down to a short couple of sentences or a short 240 character tweet. Picture it, that's to draw or annotate a picture that summarises the key information that was covered in the lesson. They could cue it, that's creating a revision or cue card for part of the topic or the lesson or maybe the previous 3 lessons. Some students at Becky High spend countless hours making revision notes and cue cards. Why not make them as they go along so that they've saved the revision time nearer their exams for practicing and applying the concepts and getting better at exam technique. Map it. That might be making it or adding a topic or part of a topic to a mind map to cover the concepts that were covered during that lesson. They could test it, so they could have a go at writing a test question that they've just done and writing the example worked answers from their perspective again, to make them think about the sort of assessment criteria that they might have to use or fit when they are answering exam questions. Prepare it. So they could prepare a 2-minute summary presentation for the start of the next lesson that could give them and others a reminder of what they covered in the previous lesson. Watch it, so that could be, they could be directed by the teacher to watch a summary video on the topic from the previous lesson, which will re-explain, maybe give a different focus or a different viewpoint, and again, make them think. Hear it, so they could listen to a podcast on the topic covered and summarise it in bullet points. They could read it, so they could look at a recommended article or a website or a textbook page or pages to review what was covered in the lesson. They could create it. Now this is obviously a lot of different avenues students can use here, but they could write a short story, a poem, a storyboard, a podcast. They could create their own PowerPoint presentation. They could write a song, come up with a comedy sketch or like an information sketch to give them and other people a different way of looking at the information that was covered in the lesson. They could talk it. Now this is something that parents can have a significant impact on. Speak with a parent or a sibling to explain what they've covered during the lesson, okay, and what they've learned. It might involve 3 or 4 minutes preparation and then 1 or 2 minutes to present to their parent. They could also teach it. Again, this is a slightly harder skill than from talking it, where they have to explain the concepts that they've covered to another person, e.g. a parent or a brother or sister, so that they can understand what they have learned from that lesson.
We are very conscious of the workload of our pupils. They work very hard, and we don't want to distract either from the array of extracurricular activities they engage in and enjoy. So to reflect the additional 25 minutes of time we are asking for them to do the consolidation and reflection homework, we have reduced other homeworks by 5 minutes to allow for this. The changes in your students' planners and in the home learning policy within it, and that will explain further this slight change of emphasis.
Closing the loop. In the coming days, we will be presenting some of these ideas to both staff and pupils across the school, from Year 7 right up to Year 13. And sharing this video might be one way that we go about doing that. We want to highlight these expectations, and ideally we would like you, and we trust that as your supportive and knowledgeable people that you are, we would like you to help us work with the students to develop this focus, as we truly believe that consolidation is key to securing long-term memory and recall in examinations.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this first learning update. It is hopefully one of many. We're going to try and involve you more in what we do. I'm sure you hear wonderful reports back from the students when they come back to you, but hopefully this is going to give you an insight into what they're doing with us and how you can support their learning so that they make even more remarkable progress in their time with us.